that everyone can draw. Even if you think you can't draw, just by placing your pen down and moving it around, you'll find that you suddenly get inspired.
Even if you just start with a circle?
Yes.
And then just build out from a circle from there. So I can, I can use the brush. So I'm just going to colour my pot in a little bit. So I want to grab that one. So as I was saying about tonally, I've just used two colours there to create my pot. And let's grab, we might as well stick to...
So Lou's giving me some pens, that's why I've gone really quiet.
We were saying that earlier, something, as soon as you get the pens, you'll...
Give Janice pens, that'll keep her quiet. I bet you have a guest forum and you discuss it. Make sure you give Janice something to shut her up.
But you can do, you know, blend your colours in together. And then I've created my pot. I can go back over then, if I wanted to make my outline stand out even further. So I can go over and I can make the pot details stand out. So it's just a quick way of doing, and that's just a rectangle with lines in. So let's grab a blue, and then we'll do this pot blue. So draw around your stencils if you don't want to do. Look at what stencil designs you've got.
Yes.
Also, have a look at what dies you've got.
Oh,
what
dies.
apertures can you make to doodle inside? So, you know, like the waist,
yes.
When we cut away like a circle, you're left with the circle design.
Yes.
Use it to doodle round.
That's a good idea.
If you've got a butterfly design, use it to, you know, doodle round.
I think if you, like you say, Lou, get an image and start with it and draw around it, then colour it in, and then, especially as you've got the fine liners, you can start extending that image outwards.
Oh, totally. And once you've started, even if you're not sure, start with your own name.
Oh, okay.
Or your the first initial.
Yes.
And then do that in like a block form.
Yeah.
And then doodle bits and pieces off it. That could be a little vine, it could be little flowers, it could be circles.
That's a good idea.
So, you know, you can stop that. So I've just got my little plant pot there. And then you can bring in the brush.
I've just done a little doodle using the pens and all the different colours. Like you say, Lou, just to use all the...
Oh,
it's a colourful chicken. But the pens I found just go on so easily. You just want to put one down, pick one up, put one down, pick one up.
It does. They do. So we can carry on, you know, you can carry on building. So I've got one here that I want to do. I'm going to do it. We'll do a different form of, let me have a think. We'll do a little bit of blending, why not? So I'm going to do a bit of green.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put my lids here so I can remember. So all I'm going to do is create another colour. So if you couldn't, you know, you were saying about your price point might not be to go and get the one-day special, but the other tin of 48.
Yes.
So we can still do the blending. So if I put the pen on top, the longer you leave the colour on top, the more that goes to the colour underneath. If I twiddle it all the way round, it means the colour goes all the way round. And then I can start where I've got my plant pot here. I can start blending with another colour straight away. Sorry, my hand's going to be in the way because of the way I colour.
That's all right.
And then I can start blending my pot straight away. And
I'm loving these pens, Lou. Oh, my goodness.
So we've then got a different coloured pot, and the colour is going out to the yellow. Again, if I just do the same on the other side. So it will make your pen, your nib look mucky.
Yeah.
But it'll go back to being yellow, as you can see here. So I can then do it that way. And I can bring in the shading down the side. So you can do pen together, and then we can go around the back there.
They're really easy to colour in with.
Oh, totally. So you can create... I've just created a quick around the pot there, so I can then, if I wanted to, I can go in with the blue line, because I've mixed the blue and the yellow together,
My goodness, the coverage, Lou. I'll show you what I've done in a moment. I've just quickly sketching, just getting that colour in.
It's not hard, is it, at all, sort of thing? Oh, yeah, you are really going for it.
Yeah, look at, so within seconds, I've just drawn a receiver for a phone.
And it does, the colouring is, isn't it amazing from the brush?
Do you know what, I've probably done it the wrong way round. Hello? Yeah, I'm just with Lou on the phone. Yeah, I'm just with Lou on the phone. But can you see the colour? Look at and just the shading underneath. No, I'm not talking to you. I'm on the television. Oh, hang on a minute. Sorry, where are we? I'm sorry. Look, I've got to go. All right then. I'll see you later. All right. Jane says hi.
Bye.
Lou says hi back. All right. Bye. Bye. No, you put the book down. You put the book down. But seriously, the colour with the grey, it did actually just take me about 30 seconds. And I know I've not coloured it in properly, but it just flows so easily. It does flow.
I mean, there's lots of things you can do. Right, I've just put a little bit of water, let's put a bit more on the mat there, and I've just scribbled some colour. Now, because the ink dries very quickly, it's very hard to do watercolour techniques with them.
Yes.
But if I scribble onto the mat, and then I put some water, I can blend them out like a watercolour.
Yes.
So we've got the watercolour effect there. And I'm going onto this paper as well, so it just shows you the paper is taking it as well. So we might as well, let's have a... And I can go on top of what I've already coloured, and it won't affect it.
Okay.
So I can carry on if I wanted to make that a little bit darker. So you can bring in different techniques, because they're a water-based ink.
That is fabulous that you can use them. Like you say, draw the colour out. I think that's absolutely marvellous.
So we can, now I can bring in a little bit more shading, so I can do the blend on blend, and then I've just watercoloured on top.
Yeah.
So there is lots of different ways. I'm going to do a little bit more, pick up some water. We can actually use them. So I can add some more. Just going to add a little bit of shading.
So here's the question then, if we can use them in that way, and I've learnt this from you, can you, when you're using them with water, is it like watercolour where you can go and reactivate it?
We'll let it dry and we'll give it a go.
Oh, you're little tease.
I know. So, we can carry on and on and on.
Oh, we certainly can.
And you can keep, building. We can use the brush. So you don't have to... So now I'm bringing in a darker colour. And this is just, and I've just, so far, all I've used, I've used the blue, but mainly the greens from all that set that we've got. There's the beautiful greens there. And we can then add some more colour in there.
Sorry, they probably hear me colouring in it.
No, you're fine. You go for it.
I'm just absolutely loving this. Now, I'm going to. If anyone's got any requests for anything for me to try and draw to show off the colours, I'll more than gladly try. But now we're over 40% of the one-day special gone. Do you know what I like about these pens, Lou, using them? It makes me... I'm not an artist, but it makes me feel like I am colouring in, even if I don't colour in line to line. How can I explain it? It's almost like, when you see... oh my goodness!
It's having that
the way you draw. It's like it's a printed drawing. It's not like you've drawn
I see what
it.
You mean.
It's amazing, and the colours are in here are just fantastic as well. So I've drawn a remote control. I've drawn a remote control with a bit of shading underneath. So if we're on channel 2 at the moment. If I press channel 3, what happens? Let's see. Oh. Let me press channel 2. I'm going to press channel 6. Oh, that is amazing. You see? Oh, hang on. Back to channel 1. There you go. Oh, this is brilliant. You see, whatever you draw comes to life.
Oh, very
channel
clever.
4. There you go.
But when you've looked at the shape that you've drawn there, we make doodling or we make drawing a little bit harder for ourselves. If we break it down into its component shapes, when you consider what you've just doodled there is just like a rectangle and squares, and then the way you coloured it in changes it. And I think, I mean, I'm just quickly here, I would spend a little bit more time, but that was just from there, so let's just put that. I've even been good and putting them back in their colours, which is just unheard of. I normally put them back in colour families, which is, so we just added a little bit more detail here. So we've got, and then if I go around here, I've just got a little teacup, or I'm not sure what it is. In my head it was meant to be a teacup.
I'm drawing something for my producer now.
Oh.
So we'll see.
That sounds very... We'll see. So I can bring in, let's just do... And we'll just have another one going across there, and I'll fill in the leaves there. So then what I want to do is, I want to draw in some of these lines. So I'm just going to grab a stencil as a straight line. Okay. So we were talking about making this, let's put my lid on here. So if I just draw a line here, so if I made this a weekly journal, it could be, I know I haven't drawn in that pot or coloured flower.
But it does mean you're never going to, you know, like you say, Lou, losing your lid for your pen, it's the most annoying thing.
Oh.
But being able just to place them back, it means that you can take these with you and you can colour wherever you are.
Yep.
I know that might sound a bit silly, but you can colour with confidence because you've just popped your lid back on, you always know where it is.
So we've got a little bit of a shelf going on there. So I can then, right, so this could be Monday in the garden or whatever your task. And then I've got Tuesday.
Oh, that is fabulous.
It doesn't matter. And then I've got Wednesday. And I would carry on building it up. I had to think then about how to spell Wednesday.
Do you know what? I always remember it just by going Wednesday.
I had a total mental block there.
Wednesday.
So we've got there. So I've got a little shelf there, and I'll do exactly the same this side. And you can carry on building your own journal page up and carry on going, you know, from there.
Yeah.
I could add in extra detail. I could grab a stencil. So I've got here where I've done. I can then use the fine line a bit. So I've made the vines thicker, and I can put the leaves on and make them thinner. But they're the same colour as the actual vine
so
itself.
you've got both the fine liner and the thicker pen.
Yep,
and
straight away.
That's where you've got that advantage with these kits.
So I mean, there is lots, you know, you can do with it. So, and then I can give it an actual title, and we can do lots more beside.
Oh, I've just been having a play. It's not the same colour as Roger, Katie's horse, but I thought I might create a mate for Roger. No, that's not the sound. That's not the sound of a horse, mate. No. Clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop. But it's not the draw. It's the way that you can do that sketchy colouring as well as precision colouring with these pens. That's what I like about them. They just flow, and it gives you the inspiration just to start drawing, just to start colouring as well. Maybe you've got some stamps at home and you want to colour them in. These are going to be beautiful. They really are absolutely gorgeous to use. Whether you're using the fine liners, which are so fine and so precise, whether you're using the brush pens that just flow, or whether you're using them in the way that Lou was, being able to add water and use them with a brush. How amazing is that? So you've got all those different ways of using the pens. Right. We've got to pick a mix for you. This is excellent value for money. You choose any 3 sets, and they are all named after cities. You've got Tokyo in there, you've got Venice, you've got Marrakesh, you've also got New York in there, you've got Rio, and you've got Amsterdam. So you've got all those wonderful colours to choose from. Any of these, you choose a pack. You choose any 3 packs, and there's 6 per pack. That is incredible value for money. It really, really is. If you do want to go and have a closer look at these, you can have a look on the website, but they're great great colours. If you want some earthy colours, I would probably go for your New York, because you've got your earthy colours in there. If you want some nice neutral colours with pinks and browns, I would definitely choose the Tokyo, because that is great. Your Venice has some lovely rouge in there and blue, which is gorgeous, so you can do some teal effects. And the Marrakesh is nice because, again, you've got those lovely earthy colours in there as well. Something bright, go for Rio, definitely. Carnival of colours right there for you. OK, $11.85 for any 3 sets. That is an incredible deal. And also, we have some more incredible deals for you. Because they're $11.85 for a pack of 3, maybe you want to go for some fine liners. Now, you get all 4 for $9.95. This isn't a pick and mix. All 4, 24 pens for $9.95. Excellent value for money. All fine liners as well. So you can do that fine line detail. But the great thing about these is that if you've got black journals, black paper, they really pop out. And I've got a black journal that Lou gave me, actually, to encourage me to start doodling with brighter colours, because I was like, oh, I don't normally use bright colours. She said, give it a go and get a black journal and go and give it a go. And I did, and I absolutely love it. And I sit down now and I've got 5 minutes, just do a bit of doodling, and it looks fabulous with those gorgeous neon colours. So if it's something that you've not used before, go for this, because you do have the neons included as well as the pastel and the light colours. Right, next up, another deal for you. This is a favourite of Katie, producer. You've got your highlighters in here, and you've got your slim neon highlighters. So pastels, neon, and then the slim neon highlighters in there. These are great for your shading. They've got a great chisel tip to them as well. So you can have lots of fun doing your brush style lettering with these as well. 546 896 if you just want to use them for highlighting your work. It's a great price. You can do that as well. Ergonomically designed, I like that. So they aren't just going to roll off the table. And if you see, just down towards the tip, you've got those 3 little indents. So that helps you hold the pen, which is fabulous. Right, so your next set is a set of 36 fine liners. This is exceptional. It's been really popular. £14.95. I can't believe that price. 36 fine liners in there. So you've got your neons and your pastels. So 24 basic. When they say basic colours, they're the colours you're going to use all the time. And then you've got your pastels and your neons on top. But look at that whole rainbow, a whole array of gorgeous colours in there. £14.95. 771 480 is your item number. I can't believe the time. This show is just zipping by. That's what happens when you have fun and you start doodling. Oh. Back to Lou.
When you just said that, I looked at the time and went,
I know, oh, I know, right, it's crazy, I know this, isn't it?
This was a freehand doodle, and I just put the days of the week on,
yes,
and I'd add a little bit more detail. But for those people who don't want to freehand doodle, I've just grabbed a stencil.
Yeah.
And, oh, there's another doodle page. Oh, there's another doodle page started, sorry. You know, you go, oh, there's another. So if I just take a stencil, and these are one of the masks, they're on from Be Crafty, and I'm just going to draw around the inside of it, not with the brush nib, I don't want to do that just yet. And so I'm just giving myself a shape to work in.
Say that again, Lou.
I'm just giving myself a shape to work inside.
Oh,
so
just
I've
like
just
given my
just going around a stencil.
Okay.
So you've got that there. So then I've just grabbed another stencil.
Yeah.
And I can put the stencil inside here, and we can then start filling in the detail.
Oh, that is a great idea.
So I've got a straight line there, so I can move it across. So I can use the blue here, and we can colour it in. So all I'm doing now is using a stencil to create my actual doodles. Now in these shapes, you can doodle yourself. You could put, you know, put little lines in there, put just dots. So let's put that one there.
Yeah, I don't think we can say the one beginning with Z, unless you've been trained. I think if you've been trained, you can zen doodle dingle dangle.
But just think about the shapes you could do. You can just do stripes, and then maybe put triangles within the stripes.
Yeah.
So I've got a bit of a blue on there. So I'm just using the stencil. And it doesn't take long to actually use a stencil, so let's grab another colour.
Yeah.
You know, I'm being really brave and using purple. It's not my thing, so let's line that
Is
up
it not?
there. No.
Why don't you like purple?
I don't know, because considering I like blue.
You would think.
Yeah.
It is supposed to be a very creative colour.
It is, isn't it, something? But I would... Blues and greens, I don't know. But so I can just... I'm going to add the
I don't
detail.
know what my go-to colour is. I don't know, really.
Well, mine is definitely... If I get anything new colour-wise, I will... First colours I'll swatch out 9 times out of 10 will be the blues.
Will it?
And then the
Is that
greens.
funny? I wonder if there's something in that, if you do a bit of research, like your favourite colours, what they mean.
Yeah, there could be. Maybe it's just the reassurance factor, because they're your favourite colours.
Yes.
You feel more confident with something new.
Probably, yeah, that's a good point.
So you don't feel so daunted. So I've got a purple there. Let's just put I should have put my lid on it properly, and then it wouldn't have gone. And then let's go for a really bright pink. So all I'm doing is creating a picture, just using, so I'm just going to bring that stencil down. So I'm just going to move the stencil around to create the pattern I want, and then I can colour, because I've got the brush nibs, I could colour in, or I'm going to probably doodle within them.
Yep.
So you can create, so if you haven't got stencils, think about some of the intricate dies you might have, and create panels that way that you could die cut out and draw around or draw inside of, because that will work exactly the same. So I would fill all the space in, but that's just to give you an idea. That is just building up a doodle using the stencil.
And then you could doodle within the doodle.
Yes, which is what I was going to do. So you can then pick, so you could then grab another stencil that could have circles or something like that if you didn't want to do it yourself. So you could start, I mean, you could just do straightforward.
But aren't they clean? Aren't the fine liners clean when you use them?
And they went through the stencil
Yes.
beautifully.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just going to do straight lines because I was saying about straight lines being easy to do. So once you've done a straight line, you could sit there and start doing your triangles.
Yeah.
And gradually become braver with your doodles.
Yeah.
So there's lots of different ways. So don't think of the things that you have. I mean, I draw around my stamp blocks.
Do you?
Yeah, to get rectangles,
Yeah, of
circles,
course,
and things like that. If I haven't got
Like any objects that you've got around you on the table, it could be a coaster, for example. It just gives you it gives you a start and a framework to work within.
And then then once you've started doodling,
That's what I've been doing. I drew our director.
oh,
I brushstroked my director. But they're good fun, and they're so lovely to use with the great colours. I've just been doodling away, just being silly, really, but that's quite nice. That's quite nice.
But so use your stencil, colour in your stencil, colour in the shape. Also, it's a great way of thinking about different ways to use your stash that you probably wouldn't have thought about before by doing it this sort of way.
Yeah.
So you can draw circles in there, or if you've got a circle stencil.
Do you like drawing with fine liners, or do you like going in, because I know you like your doodles and your precision drawing, you're very inspiring for that, you really are, because every time I work with you, every time well, you can see I just start picking up a pen because I think, oh, I'd love to do that. So you're very inspiring, and every time I go home I just want to get pens out and start doodling and drawing. But how about drawing with like the brush? Would you ever do that? Or do you think that's because that's like painting, isn't it?
It is painting. I would do that if I was going to draw with the brush. That would be around my outside and stuff like that, and blend it all out. But I would probably have to get 2 or 3 brushes on the go at the same time and blend at the same time and overlap.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. But you could draw with the brush. The brush is thin enough that you could actually do that. I mean, when I did, where is it now? That I mean, I know it's not drawing, but I drew the lines there ready for the vines with the actual brush, so I could have the thickness. And then this was with the brush. So you can draw with it. I know I'm colouring, but you can do it. Do it in lots of different ways. But I don't know. I suppose because I'm working in a smaller space, I wouldn't have thought of drawing with the brush.
Yeah.
I should try that in my larger book. I'll make that my challenge tomorrow.
Oh. And what sort of mediums would you say these brushes go on to? We're working with the notebooks and the papers. Would they work? Could you go straight onto MDF with them?
I haven't tried, if I'm 100% honest.
Yeah.
I have some MDF from this morning.
Right.
I will get it and we can have a look tomorrow.
I wonder.
And I'll bring that through.
Yeah, because I wonder if like you used gesso on it beforehand.
Well, I have clear gessoed one of the pages in here, so I was going to try that tomorrow as well. So it's another different sort of medium to work with. Also, the thing is with gesso is that we could put down more water. You know, if we wanted to do more of a water effect,
yes,
putting the clear gesso in the books would help with that. So, I mean, I haven't done any complicated doodling. You're being quite detailed tonight. I'm just sitting here doing random shapes.
I'm glad you said shapes. I think you're doing a marvellous job. Absolutely love watching you.
But, as I said, just think about your die cuts. Think about your stencils. Because they'll allow you to just have as much freedom to doodle and, you know, pick all the different things that you want to do. I will colour this in, because I think it's crying out for a little bit of colour. It looks a little bit samey at the moment. But, so, let me think. So I could sit here now with this one, and I could follow the shape down. Not the best line, but... So I'm doing my stripes in the opposite way. And then you can, so this has changed it. So I'm not doing complicated shapes within shapes. I'm trying to keep them nice, straightforward shapes to do.
I'm just having fun.
And then colour them out as how you would like them to be. And then you could do... you know, where we did the pen on pen, we can do a little bit more of the blending. So we can carry on building that up. I'm going to have to do this bit here because it will, if I leave it, that will bug me.
We've got 45 seconds left.
Oh my goodness.
40, and I've just drawn a little map in my book as to where we're going next. We're going from Lou to Lou. So we're going to Lou, to Lou, to Lou. To Lou, to Lou. Oh, didn't really work. Lou, it's been an absolute pleasure. You know, I love working with you. I really do. So inspirational. Don't you agree, everyone at home? And it's wonderful to see the artwork that's emerging here to give you the encouragement to do artwork at home. Whether you're just picking up a pencil tonight, watching the show, thinking, yeah, you're just drawing along with Lou. Do go and have a look at your one-day special. Have a look at the brushes. They are marvellous. Lou, you're back tomorrow?
8 o'clock in the morning.
8 o'clock in the morning, and then 12 o'clock, and then 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I shall be watching from home. And I'll be there with my pens watching you. Please check out your baskets. Make sure you get what you want. They're an absolute delight to use, and they're great Christmas presents as well. Stay where you are, though, because we do have another Lou coming up after the break for another fabulous show. Yes, we've got textures coming up next. We're back with the one-day special after that, and then we're heading into the evening with Chocolate Baroque and our Leslie.
Hi, I'm Lou from Studio Light. Studio Light has been around for about 40 years now. They're based in the Netherlands. It's a family-run business with a great heritage. The products that Studio Light bring us are very diverse, fantastic dyes, great papers, but all round on trend. Over the 40 years Studio Light have evolved. They listen to me, the demonstrator, and you, the customers, and really take our ideas on board. On the Hochanda shows, we'll share with you the diverse techniques and products will inspire you to produce your own individual pieces of artwork. So make sure you don't miss the Studio Light shows on Hochanda.
Did
Did you know you can watch Hochanda 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for free using our app on Roku? Just like your smartphone accesses an app store to add new applications, your Roku streaming player or Roku TV accesses the Roku channel store to add new channels. By downloading the Hochanda channel, you'll be able to access your favourite craft channel on your TV anytime you want to watch. Here's how to do it. Turn on your TV and connect your Roku device. Next, turn the power on and press the home button on your Roku remote. Scroll up or down to select Settings. Select your network and select Setup Connection. Roku uses a wireless connection, so select your router name and add your password. This should be on the side or the bottom of your router. If this is the first time using Roku, then you'll need to set up an account on the device or by going to the Roku website. That's it. Now it's time to add the Hochanda app. Simply press the home button on the Roku remote. Scroll up or down using the arrows on your remote to select streaming channels. Then open the channel store. At the top of the channel store, you'll find a list of featured, new and popular categories to explore. Enter Hochanda into the search bar and this will take you to the Hochanda app. Now simply select Add Channel. When you see the added channel screen, press OK and return to the home page. Now scroll down to the Hochanda app and press the star button on your remote. You can then use the arrow buttons to move Hochanda to the top of the screen for quick and easy access. And that's it. You can now watch, purchase and catch up with your favourite shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on your TV whenever you feel crafty.
Hi, my name is Blanche Siegmann. I'm the owner of the company La Blanche. The company La Blanche is a crafting company located in Germany. For over 20 years, I'm designing and selling stamps, paper crafting products and home decoration. As a passionate crafter myself, I make sure all our products are of highest quality and easy to use. We produce a whole range of products. We produce paper products. We have also shrink sleeves for your jars, glasses. We have home decoration products, paints and wall decals. Everything, the whole range of crafting we produce for you. I hope you enjoy watching us at Hochanda and crafting with La Blanche.
Hi, we're the team from Daisy Bee Stamps. My name's Nina, this is Josie, and this is my dad Roy. And we design and manufacture our very own polymer stamps. So 3 years ago, we decided to embark on turning our own designs into polymer stamps. We're really excited about where this is going to take us in the future and how we can evolve those designs and keep bringing you something that's just so different. So we wanted to add an extra element to our stamp collection, and this was down to Josie using her iPad and hand drawing the amazing sentiments that we now have in our collection. All our designs complement each other so that you can use them again and again to create something new. So make sure you don't miss the Daisy Bee shows on Hochanda.
Have to do it at the start of every show. I told you I'll be back with you. Yeah, that's it. Don't worry, the jokes are going to stop there. It's great to have your company. We are live now on Hochanda all the way through until 10 p.m. every night. So it really is lovely to have your company. And we've got the lovely Lou Collins with us.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
You had a show earlier on today, didn't you?
I've had 2 today. Yeah, this is the third one.
Wow, we've been working you hard then. Well, it's lovely that you stayed with us here for the 9 o'clock show. It's always nice to be inspired, whether it's just before we go to sleep or maybe we can't sleep, so we're up or we need to become even more creative than we've been throughout the day. So it's lovely to be with you. Now, we did have 2 sellouts earlier on, didn't we?
Yeah, and they were sort of almost the main items. So the owl has completely gone now, unfortunately. Certainly the owl died. So I've had to revamp the demonstrations a little bit for you.
Well, I'm sure we're going to have a marvellous show. So the die that I was going to show you, and we were just talking about, has actually gone and sold out. But you can still get the stamp and the great grey board. Now, with the grey board, you get 3 sets of that, don't you?
Yes, so there's 3. What you're seeing there is a sheet cut into 4 pieces.
Yes.
You're getting 3 sheets,
Wow.
so 12 pieces in total.
So in that sheet, you can take the owl out, and then that leaves you with the shape of the owl,
Yeah,
but
like the
into the
silhouettes.
MDF if you want to use
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
And then that stamp, we were talking about this earlier, isn't it marvellous?
Yeah, it's sort of 4 of my favourite textures and patterns,
Is it?
all combined there. Yeah, this is the idea with the reflections
Yes.
theme. So this is the reflections collection. There is another reflections collection coming soon as well with different images. Just a little hint there. But with this one, you can mix and match. So you can use just the inside of the owl, just the outer border, and you can really work on your texture using these stamps with embossing and all your different stamping techniques.
Oh, that'd look fantastic embossed, wouldn't they? Now, if you are going with the MDF, or the grey board that's there, sorry, if we wanted to use the stamps on the grey board, would we gesso it first?
You don't have to, and I'm
really?
not. And I'm not going to today. So you can heat emboss, go straight onto that, and then apply your inks, and the inks absorb nicely, and like heat embossing will resist it. But you can absolutely, if you want to put this onto a canvas and do lots of other things on it, you can gesso it, of course.
Oh, isn't it great to learn new things? I think it's fabulous. I really do. I can't wait to see that. So we've got some lovely designs here that you two can try out when you get your stamp set and your grey board home. 178518. It's a great price. This stamp on its own, £15.98. That's incredible, but you're getting the grey board with it, so you get those 3 projects to go with it. Superb price. Love that stamp. And of course, you don't have to bring it together as an owl, I guess, Lou. You could use it in separate parts to build up those backgrounds.
Absolutely, yeah, of course. So I wanted an animal that looked really nice as a half as well, that was quite recognisable, so you can absolutely do that. Things like the notebook that's in front of you there, Janice, on the very end here, that's only using a very small amount of that grey board there.
Yeah,
so you can do things like that. You can still
out.
tell it's an owl.
Look at that. I love that. And that, of course, is using the stamp in the background, so you can see that that could apply to other projects if you want to, for building up your layers and your backgrounds. Can't wait for the demonstrations. Right, get these into your basket. Make sure you get them before we have another sellout. 178518 is your item number. Now, something else during the preparation we were looking at, and I just thought, oh my word, this looks absolutely fantastic, is this wonderful, wonderful die. And it's a sizable die. I'm going to show you that in a moment's time. And the stencil as well. You can see from these beautiful samples. Have you made all these, Lou?
Yeah, I made all of them. We didn't have time to get them out to the design team. I was very specific about what I wanted to show and display, so I thought for the launch I'll do everything. Hopefully the design team will get to play next time round.
Wow, these samples are lovely. I love your designs. I love the way that things are clean, but you still get that grungy element in there.
This is the idea with textures, really. So text obviously relates to my love of text and font and lettering and things, and hand lettering. Textures, because I do love mixed media, but like many people, I'm often a bit scared of all the layers. So I wanted something that went from card making to mixed media and back again. You could bring the two together really easily, whatever your style is.
Yeah, this is a sizable die.
Yeah, it's A5.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I am in love with this die. The more I play with it, the more I find you can do with it. I'm going to cut that first to show you how beautifully it cuts as well.
It's lovely. It really, really is. And what an investment. Only £16.98. I can't believe that. And you also get the stencil as well. My word. Wow. So you've got your £3 saving, but I mean, look at the size of that die. I can't believe that price. It is tremendous. It's a fabulous deal. 166662. You wait till you see the demonstrations. Don't wait to put this in your basket though. Get it, check on out, and then just sit back and relax and watch the demos. Right, next up, this is really interesting. You've got your fabulous words. That are all individual, but you can keep them together. And then you've got a die to go with this. Explain to us how we use this, Lou.
So the die works twofold. It works for the text part of the textures because it will cut out those stamps. So you can actually stamp all of those stamps together if you keep them on the front sheet.
Yes.
And you'll see, or the backing sheet, you'll see what I mean. So if you stamp
sorry,
them all...
I moved that away from our direct. Sorry, I was going to bring it up here to show you.
So you can stamp them all together and then the die will lay over them. We've printed on that acetate sheet on the front, so you can perfectly place them for die cutting them all. So much like when you make paper flowers and you sit there in the evening, you make them all together and put them aside for projects ready, you can do the same with your words. You can also use them individually and stamp directly on projects. But then the die also works on its own, so it can be a brickwork die,
Hey,
or
yes.
create a gorgeous grid for you to put texture paste and spritzes and things through. So again, you can add texture with that on its own without even teaming up with the stamps if you want to.
What a lovely idea. And of course, when you cut this out, die cutting it, you can use it in its entirety, or you could snip into it. So
Yes.
you could just use part of that on your project. It's amazing, isn't it? Everything is absolutely fantastic. And if you love everything so far, and you've got it in your basket, if your basket comes to £60 or more, because this happens, doesn't it? Sometimes later on in the evening, we've had 1 or 2 cocos, and we're putting things into the basket, and we're like, oh dear, I didn't mean to put all of that in. So we'll divide the cost into 2 payments over 2 months, so it makes it affordable. You don't have to wait 2 months to get everything. We'll send everything out at the same time. It's definitely worth thinking about that. Right, so your item number for that is 309596. Then next up, you say you love your words.
I do love my words.
Yeah, we've got some beautiful dies for you here, and a fabulous stencil as well.
Yeah, so we've got what I call large word dies here. They're around about 4 inches long each.
Yes.
So you can sort of gauge the size of them there. But they're a beautiful brush script.
Yes.
And this is what I want, was a handwritten font that could team really nicely with the typewriter fonts that we've got within the stamps.
Yes.
So mixing the two together I'm really passionate about. I absolutely love brush lettering with a nice bold and sort of a masculine and strong font
Yeah.
there. The two go to well really nicely. So we've got 4 words that are generic. They're going to be used all the time, so celebrate, amazing, beautiful and best wishes, and certainly cut those out. They'll go on any project. And then the stencil, adding texture into the background. You can pick out letters, mask them off and stencil them, ink them, whatever you want to do with them. You can emboss, of course, with a rubber mat. So that stencil is split into 2 halves. You've got a vertical and a horizontal design. The top one, the horizontal one, is actually just the alphabet, repeating through the alphabet. The bottom one are words. It's a bit like a word search, so you can pick out words like beautiful, amazing, create, art and things like that from that. I mean, it's probably easier if you look at the bottom 2 lines, you can quite clearly see some of the words in there.
Oh yeah,
but
cream
again,
colour.
you can mask these off and pick out the words you want to.
Wow.
So it does read, if you read through the top to bottom, left to right, it all reads as words.
Yes.
But it actually looks random when you first put it on.
Yeah.
So that way, you, like I say, you can pick words out if you want to with different
that.
colours and things.
I love the way you've really thought about this. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It must be a great design process in your
Oh, it's
mind
fun.
to paper, yeah. And do you change your design? Do you design it and then you change it, rearrange
A
it?
little bit,
Yeah.
yes. I usually have an initial idea. Once it's on paper or once it's on the computer, it doesn't change too much. But from here to the computer, it changes 100 times.
Yeah, I bet. Well, it's absolutely fantastic. You've done a great job, and it's lovely that you're thinking about the crafters out there. You're not just bringing out a stencil, you're thinking about the different ways that it can be used, and that is extra special. It really is. £16.98, saving £3. It's a great deal. 684261. I bet you're thinking about that flexi basket now, aren't you? Because everything is just absolutely amazing. Love that. Right, we've got more alphabet for you now, which is ideal, of course, for putting together your own sentiments, your own words, and sometimes if you have a name that's spelt differently, if it's like Molly with a Y or Molly with IE, for example, different ways of spelling all kinds of different names. For example, my friend Sarah, I've got a Sarah S-A-R-A, I've got a Sarah which is S-A-R-A-H, and then I've got a Sarah which is S-A-I-R-E-R.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I don't know where I'd find a card with that kind of Sarah, the last one. But when you've got your alphabet right here, you can just spell your own words.
Absolutely. I mean, cards, mini books, journals, scrapbook pages, all of that we like to personalise with names, places, dates, ages and things, because you've got all of the ordinals there, you've got your ampersand, you've got your brackets, so you can really put together any sentiment or word or phrase that you can possibly think of.
And it's nice with the alphabet as well to sometimes, if you're doing any kind of poetry or writing or journaling, just to stamp the first letter. And in fact, sometimes we get lost for words. We don't know what to write and we're stuck. So if you just get one of those, here's the thing, get one of those letters and just randomly put a letter at the start, the big one, you can doodle around it, and then you've got to write something after that that began with that letter, and that could just start you off in your flow. It's a fabulous deal. £14.98. You're saving £3. 103858 is your item number. 72 stamps in total. Right, we're going to head to the demonstration area now. If you do have any questions, please email in. It's studio@hochanda.com. We would love to hear from you. If there are any questions that I'm not asking, or if there's anything you'd like to find out from Lou, then please email in. We're here for you as well. Right, Lou, what we're going to have a look at?
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is come to the overlapping circles die. So it's that really large A5 die. I mean, it is huge, and I wanted it to still fit within an A5 die cutting machine. The same for all my dies, because I wanted to make sure that whatever die cutting machine you have, there's a likelihood this is going to go through it. 99% of people will have an A5 or bigger. I've got cardstock here. Now, this is a large die, and I'd usually look at this and I go, oh, is it going to cut in the middle as I run it through? Do I need to put shims in it? So what I've found is with this, because it's got nice deep blades on it, it cuts beautifully. I've put a poly pocket around my paper. I always do this if it's a messy die, and what I mean by that is lots of bits are going to fall out for two reasons. A, to keep everything as clean as possible. A few bits will fall out the edge, but most things will be kept inside here, so I can sort of throw it all away nice and neatly, or I can collect all the bits afterwards and use them later on.
Can we use the poly pocket again, or is it just a one use when it's been
Depends
through?
what sort you get. So the cheaper you go, the likelihood is that you can use it once. But if you're buying a pack of 100 and you cut them, the A4 ones, into 2 for A5, you've got 200 passes there, so you'll be fine. As well, for cutting paper, there's a certain type of paper or cardstock that I will go to for die cutting large, intricate images like this. And that is a softer one, so something that's textured. If you go for a smooth cardstock, that will usually be, the fibres will be compacted really tightly to get that smooth finish. That's how they do it. But then with that, because the fibres are packed so tightly, it's harder for a die to get through. So you want a nice soft texture, so you can feel them feel they're a bit softer.
I know this is going to be a weird question, but I just suddenly have these ideas, and I'm just looking at the beautiful pattern that's on the die here and how large it is, and then thinking about mixed media. You know, if you've got some really thick baking foil that was really strong, would you be able to cut? That would look amazing.
You can cut that, or you can emboss on stronger metal. And this die embossed looks beautiful. In fact, let me show you. So I did some embossing the other day on some gold mirror cards. So I lightened the pressure. I'm trying not to put too much shine so you can see the pattern. I lightened the pressure there in my die cutting machine on purpose, so it wouldn't cut all the way through, just to see what the emboss looked like. It looks quilted then, doesn't it? It just looks beautiful.
That's incredible. And
with some materials like a foiled mirror card or a glitter card, for example, you'll find that the bits will actually hold in. I'll just see. I'm sticking with this for a moment just to show you, see if I've got one to show you.
Because with the right mediums on that, you can actually make it look like faux leather.
Oh, absolutely.
With
mirror card, you can rub black acrylic paint into it, and it will really dull it and make it look like antique metal, vintage metal. With something like this, I'm just see whether this one is one or whether this was an embossed. Oh no, it is a cut through. So this is a material that really didn't want to cut. It looks as if it's cut through, but because this is there's such a sort of almost sticky surface on it. It's such a thick vinyl on the top. This is all held together, so what I could do is I could go along and I could pop the pieces out. I'd have to do it by hand, but I could pop all the pieces out by hand and be left with the pattern that I wanted. So I think I've got one in here that I started. These are all my bits. I cut them lots and lots of bits.
But it looks, but each and every time you use it in all the different ways that you've got on your samples, it can look completely different.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this is, oh, here we go. So this is one that I started doing it too. I don't know if you can just see the gaps in there. So just start popping. You can pop out the bits. I mean, you've then got the inside of like the teardrop shapes you can pop out as well, but they're like the diamonds. So you could have a nice grid there, and you can really build up different patterns. So I've actually got a card near you, Janice, that's got a circle in it with this. It's white and blue with the word amazing in. Oh, sorry, it's been moved, but it's down the front there now.
Is it? Oh, here it is, down the front.
So that one I've actually left the white inside of the little teardrop shapes,
Hey, that's
and then put another blue
great.
layer over the top. So it's just lots of different layers. So this die, at first glance, you think, well, okay, it can cut the circles, but it can do so much more.
Remember, you're getting the stencils with that deal. The die is sensational for price. I cannot believe it's this price
I love
because
it.
of the size of the die, but also what it can do for you with the different ways of using it. It's an incredible. If you're going for anything, get this in your basket. £16.98. I mean, I didn't mean that aggressively. Get it in your basket. You make your own choices. You decide. But it really is a fabulous deal, and it's a wonderful size as well.
Yeah, it really is. So one more, you've got the waist, of course. You'll always have the waist. A few of these bits have dropped off because I've not glued them to anything. This is just a contact sheet. I've taken all the waist out of the die first. So you can certainly be using that for something as well. And then, of course, paper piecing these bits back into one of these overlapping circles panels. So as you can see there, all the bits just pop out absolutely beautifully. I'm doing the middle purposely because that's where you'd have the trouble with cutting if you were going to. So just to prove to you there, look, it cuts beautifully. You just need to work at popping those through. So I'm just going to put that aside because I've cut that. I've shown you that it cut, and I've got a couple here that have already all been popped out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with a piece of acetate. Okay, I don't like using acetate so much on the shows because you can't see what I'm doing. You can't see it so clearly. But do you know what? It looks so beautiful when it's been finished. I'm going to glue in. I'm going to actually use a glitter and flake glue. So it's one that's very tacky, just to stick to the acetate because it will grip much quicker for me. So I'm going to back the inside of this card with a piece of lilac cardstock.
So weird. It looks like you're just doing that in midair.
I know. It's just funny, isn't it? So just once I pop that in there, then at least we can see where the card is.
Yeah.
So that is just a piece of acetate I've folded over. There we go, and that can be drying in there. So then I've got my lattice panels. Now, I can put that over there and I would trim it round the edge, and that looks really pretty as it is because you've got that little peek through.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick one down. So I've found the best way to stick these, if you can find them. I don't know whether we've got them on Hochanda or not.
Yeah.
I should have checked this first, but
We'll have a look.
they're little sticky dots on a sheet, and you just pop your intricate die cut inside. You can use wet glue, of course, or your favourite, maybe mini dots on a runner. They would work as well. And I'm just going to stick this onto.
Oh, you've made it.
Made it all sticky.
I've never seen those before.
Oops, I've stuck that on. I've left a little bit at the top, but that's okay. I can fix that in a moment. So I've just overlapped. I won't trim that at the moment because I'm going to do a second panel. Okay. Now that looks really, really pretty. Obviously, once I trim the edge, that looks really pretty as it is. But I want to show you what it looks like with 2 layers. And
Lovely
this is
sticky dot sheets.
I know, they're great. They're really handy,
good.
yeah. If you haven't got any, get some quickly.
Have a look on the website.
Yeah, these are amazing. You can often get them on rolls on tape dispensers as well as tiny sticky dots. I think I'm starting to run out here, but they all should hold. So what I'm going to do now is take this and just place it. I'm just going to place it so the centre of the circle, or the edge of the circle, is inside the centre of another one. And I'm just going to work around and make sure that it sits even all the way around. Stick that over the top, and now we've got a particularly intricate lacy panel, and when I hold that up you'll be able to see it a bit clearer because it's not. Oh, there we go, look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? So lacy.
You could actually make lace strips, faux lace strips
You could,
out of it. That's
I'm just going to go around the edge and trim this all down, but alternatively you could create a couple of panels like this and then die cut them into a shape, like a circle or a heart shape or something, for a lacy circle, lacy heart. I've done this with some colour as well. I have to thank Lou Withers for that idea because I was showing her these. She had the first peek at them on a video chat, and I held up a couple of these panels and she said, oh, if they were different colours then you'd see like the third colour coming through. And that's how that blue and yellow card came about that you really liked, that we were looking at.
This is my favourite. So this, I am going to share it with you, don't worry. So this is using that die, but with different colours.
It's a yellow panel and a blue panel layered on top of each other on top of a solid piece of green.
Wow.
And then matted onto a blue card base.
That's spectacular. And
pretty,
doesn't
isn't
that
it?
word do it justice? Because it is beautiful and the font looks gorgeous on there as well.
But equally that would suit for a masculine card or a teenager,
Yeah.
maybe a children's birthday party. How quick, you've seen how quickly the die cuts.
It reminds you know that just it's got like a 60s vibe.
Yeah, it has.
I've been watching the Queen's Gambit on
I
TV,
need to see it.
and all the decor is from the 1960s, and it's absolutely fantastic. You must watch it.
It's
for
on
the
my
decor and colours and costumes alone. It's very inspiring, and you'll know what I mean when you see it. When you look at this, that is gorgeous.
I'll have to do that, definitely.
So the programmes are available. I don't really want to mention 3. I can't be bothered.
So that's what that looks like now. You can see all that detail. It's beautiful, and with the purple behind. You can put any colour behind, of course. We saw one at the end that's got dark blue behind it. I must admit, the darker the colour, the deeper the colour, the more striking that's going to be. But I need to add a sentiment to it. So I'm going to bring in the stamps now. The alphabet stamps from the very end of the counter, where we've got the typewriter font, and we've got the capitals, and we've got the lowercase. They're sold together. I'm going to just use the capitals, I think. I'll just do the word you, because amazing you I just think's lovely for.
So I've got another question.
Okay.
If I wanted to make a sentiment, a name or a word from your alphabet, have you got a tip? You're probably going to tell us now how to space them so they look equally spaced. You know, if you wanted to write a name.
So we have purposely had these cut around as close as possible.
Okay.
But the idea is to make them look quite natural. It's just to put them as close as the rubber will allow. Okay, so that's touching there. If you leave any sort of gap, you're going to risk the gaps always being uneven. So that U will actually, the top crossbar of the U there, or the serif of the U, I'm sorry, it's clear, you can't see it, I'll show you when it's stamped, actually tucks quite nicely around the O. The O sits into the shape of the Y. Now for this font, I'm not looking for perfectly straight either. I will just turn it over and just have a look. I need to just lower the U slightly. So I just say, just press the rubber up against the next one that you're going to, if you're not leaving a space. I've got a grid on my block as well if I do want to do it perfectly straight. So I've got the 3 there. Now when I stamp those, I'm actually going to I'm just thinking what colour to do it. I'm going to do it in black. I'm going to find a black embossing powder, because I want it to be really quite sort of striking. Saying that, there's my black. I had so much out earlier, and then it was quite funny because we had a bit of a change around in the studio, and I was supposed to be moving to a different set. So I put everything away, and then it's like, no, we're not moving anymore. So I've not got everything back out, and I should have done, really. I've just thought, I think I've got everything. Clearly hadn't. Right, so clear embossing powder. Let's just pop this onto a spare sheet of cardstock, this powder, just to
Does it take you long to put a collection together, Lou? Do you have a collection in mind and a thought process?
So we have a theme to start with. So we start with a theme, we then decide on what the items will be, as in we'll have 3 die sets, we'll have 4 stamp sets, this sort of thing. And then I like to go with some that are really versatile, like the panel, and then some that are really quite specific, like the owl. And we build on it from there. So some collections will have paper, because it will just work with paper, some won't need it. We've actually got some fun mediums coming up soon. Some paints and things that will work with the collection. So it just we know how many items we want in a collection. It usually takes me about a week to get the artwork together, designed. Some things like this, once you know the font you want to use, these are quite easy. You just need to decide on what letters you want. So some things are really quick and easy. This I did painstakingly have to sit on a design program and build up, but it was, once I had the circle, the general shape, a line of them, it was a copy and paste.
Wow, it's been worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a little bit painstaking to make sure they all lined up and fit perfectly. With this one, the O, this is my fault, when I was inking, the O hasn't quite caught, but I really like, that it's not quite stamped perfectly.
Well, like a typewriter, sometimes if you don't put your finger down in the same pressure, it could come up in a lighter, with the ribbons worn a little bit.
Exactly, so I've just left that, rather than rather than, I could have put it in a stamping block and done it twice, but rather than that, I've just left that.
I like
but that's
it.
on a pearly card, so when I move that, you get the odd hint of purple lilac coming through, and that works really well with the background. So when you see it sort of to the naked eye as such, you'll see that purple coming through, which works really well. I'm just going to trim this down now, just by hand. I could use a trimmer to be a little more precise, but I'm not going to. That's going to sit on there. I'll just close my embossing ink up. I'm going to sit this on here with a little bit of foam. I'm naughty, I'm using my same scissors for my tape. I'll go home and give them a really good clean, so I haven't got any sticky on them, because these are my fussy cutting scissors, but I tend to, because I love them so much, I use them for everything.
Yeah. Is it because they're small and neat?
Yes, so they're actually embroidery scissors, and I love them for fussy cutting anything really, because you can really get in the detail. But I saw you had a brilliant sort of scissor and steel ruler set. I think it might have been one of the 7 days savers.
Yes, it was, 7-day savers. It's an incredible deal, actually.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the price of that.
Yeah, 3 pairs of scissors, your steel ruler, and you've got your 2 craft utility knives as well. It's a great deal for $9.99 for all of that. So you can have a set of scissors for different jobs.
Yes, not like me and using the same one for everything.
And they're ergonomically designed. You can have one for your fabric, one for your paper, one for your everyday scissors in your drawer when you need them to cut labels off and things like that. I don't think there's much left. It's a 7-day saver. It's supposed to last 7 days, or while stocks last. It's looking like while stocks last, because people can buy that at any time, you see. $9.99, 244 357.
It just reminded me, because I noticed that smaller pair of scissors looked very similar and very pointed,
you're right.
like those ones. So I've just die cut my large word die, the word amazing, from silver glitter card. It's a no shed glitter card, and I just wanted to show you how delicate that was. It's really beautiful, really elegant. It's cut perfectly as well. And I just love that. I love that font. I think it's beautiful. So modern as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pop that so it teams with, and it actually overlaps with the word you there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on. It's actually going to go sort of across there. Now what I'd do if I had a little bit more time today, I want to get on and get some more demos done, but I would actually do this 3 or 4 layers and put them all together, so it's a bit more like a chipboard. In fact, I can cheat a little bit. I've got somewhere here, if I can find the set of dies, I've got one in here that I lost from a demonstration earlier that's already about 4 layers. And look at the colour.
Oh, perfect.
So I can just pop this over the top. So what I do to layer up really intricate die cuts like this to make them thicker, because this is of course very fine and very delicate. If you pop this on a card without being glued down completely, it's going to end up being lifted up. So what I do is I take another layer and I put it over the top. Now my eyesight isn't great without my glasses, but hopefully I'm putting that around about the right place. And what I do is I just pinch with my tweezers in areas just to line them up, and then pop them down. So work my way around, sort of squeezing it together. And of course with the purple it doesn't matter if this is slightly off, but if you work around squeezing in places, squeezing all the layers together, you should have it fairly even all the way along. And I've used a tacky glue that will stay tacky for a while, so I don't have to rush this stage. I find it really, really therapeutic actually to work round sticking these layers together, and I usually do 3, 4, 5 layers, and that will really make this more of a statement sentiment, because it's not flimsy anymore, it's not flopping around, it's sort of standing strong. So there we go. So there's the word amazing on the purple that's in the background, but on the silver, and that can now, now I'll stick it down. It's just little touches like that that take your cards from really nice to actually professional level when people are looking at them. So just popping this over the U there, so the Z is coming down into the O, the bottom of the words, and now by being a little bit stronger, that can hold itself up.
Look at that.
And there we go.
Love that.
See that.
Love that. How fantastic is that? And you can make your cards look different each and every time, because that brilliant die that we've got, that fabulously sized die, you can mix and match your colours and just do sorts of different patterns. Right, let's take you back to the start again and work our way through for anyone that has just joined us. We're live all the way through until 10 o'clock here on Hochanda. We did sell out of the owl die, but we have got this marvellous stamp and we've got the chipboard for you. You've got 3 of the chipboards. So you've got that wonderful owl and you have this stamp as well. Now the stamp is the shape of an owl, but what you can do, of course, is you've got the capability of using that for your mixed media projects. You can use it beyond being an owl. You can just use half of it if you want to, but it does give you some wonderful detail. The ones you're seeing there are from the die that has sold out, but you've got, there you go, down the bottom there, you can see that stamp just on the side there gives you that lovely detail. We're looking at the piece which is on the side, looks absolutely superb. If you do want to use this as well, I've got another lovely sample here with the chipboard. You see how the chipboard, once you take the owl shape out, you can still use that as the front or the back of a cover, and then that's going to allow you to use that fabulous stamp to give you details, nice embossed just there, and then the stamp inside as well. So you've still got that half shape of an owl if you're using it half, just half of it, or you can put it together and have a whole shape of an owl but not have the actual beak and the eyes, but that makes it even more special, doesn't it? And again, the versatility of that stamp, using it for your mixed media projects. 178518 your item number. You are getting 3 pieces of the grey board, so that's the owl itself, but it is cut in half. Excuse me, and then you've got the background of the owl to use in your project. Use that as well, or even link them back together so you've got the shape of an owl that you can draw around and use as a template if you want to. 178518 is your item number. 4 stamps and 3 sheets of your grey board. Excellent deal. £15.98. Marvellous. Oh, fabulous stamp to get. Right, now let's head over to our die and our stencil set. Yes, you're seeing it right, £16.98. It's a fabulous price. You've seen the die in demonstration with Lou. Here it is. It's a good size die as well. Look at that. Just placing my hand up there again. That's just ink on my hand, not a cut, but you can see how big that is. Fabulous to use. 166662 is your item number, but we've also got the Stencil coffee ring and ink, which looks brilliant. I love that. It's like you've put your coffee down, you've splattered your ink everywhere on your art table, and you look down, you go, wow, that would look really cool in my projects. Well, now you've got a stencil to do that. You can use all of that stencil, part of that stencil, use it with your texture paste, use it with your inks, lots of different ways of using that. £16.98, that gets you your stencil and it gets you your die as well to make all these wonderful cards when you get them home. 166662 is your item number for that one. Now we've got a marvellous set of words and a die to cut them out. If you leave those words on the acetate, just as it is right there, the acetate has been marked, so if you do take any of them off individually, you can place them back. But good advice, stamp out these on lots of different coloured card, lots of different coloured sheets of paper, and then use your die to cut them out. The die will fit on top of those words, you can see there. So that will enable you, if I can line them up, that will enable you to cut the words out. Probably not lined it up the best, but that's how it works. That's how it works. Let me pick up the stamp set and lay that over. I'll just get this right. Is it that way? There you go. Pick this up. So they fit over perfectly, so you can cut them out. Then you've got them all cut out individually. The great thing is you get to have as many as you like. It's not a sheet in a book, and once you've used it, you've got to buy another book. You cut out as many as you like, again and again and again and again, or use the die as a brick wall or to add texture to your projects. It's a great deal at £15.98. It really is. And we've got some fabulous words on there as well. £15.98, 309 596 is your item number for that. Now, we were using the alphabet in the last demonstration, but what we have here is the sentiment that was used in the demonstration. Excuse me, the sentiment. You've got amazing, beautiful, celebrate and best wishes, and you've also got the typewriter set on your stencil for your alphabet in lowercase, and then you've got some fabulous words as well that could look like a random background, or you can pick out the words. It's almost like a word puzzle, and we all love a word puzzle, don't we? 684261 is your item number, £16.98. Fabulous deal. You're also getting this stencil. So that's your amazing, beautiful, celebrate best wishes dies, which look lovely, and they're a good size as well, just to give you an idea of the size. And you're also getting that stencil as well. It's a great deal. All fabulous prices on the show tonight. 684261 is your item number. And then finally, before we head back to Lou, we have the alphabet that Lou was using. So you've got your uppercase alphabet and your lowercase alphabet, and you've got some ordinals there as well. 72 stamps in total, £14.98, saving £3 on that deal. Give us a call. We're there to take your call, or head to the website, best way to buy, because there are no queues. Right, we have got some 7-day savers for you. This is a good investment, actually, and these would work lovely with that die. Yes, this is a good idea. Go and take a look at these. £9.99 for 100 sheets, and it's 235 GSM. So I'll ask Lou in a moment, but I'm sure they'll be absolutely fine to use with that die, 235 GSM. I'm getting the nod. Yes, they are. Definitely worth looking at. And then we've got some holographic card. I'm thinking this with that die. 30 sheets, 270 GSM, £9.99. Do you know something? If you use that die on those, I bet that would look spectacular, especially layering them up as well. So do consider that. Then we've got all limited stock on the Essentials kit, limited stock, 3 pairs of scissors, 2 utility craft knives, and you've got that steel ruler that's got the conversion on the back. That's a bargain, and that's why so many people have taken that into their baskets and checked on out. Now you can do that, but with limited stock. 244 359 is your item number. Right, let's head back to Lou for some more demonstrations. What we're going to have a look at now?
Okay, we're going to have a look at the stamp set with the grey board and show you how they work together. So I've got quite a bit of stamping to do. I'm going to stamp all 4 pieces, but I'm going to do them in 2 separate halves. So I'm going to do this edge, which is the border. As you can see, this comes away and it leaves the owl in the middle and the outer border. So this one first, and this one is going to then be done in like a vintage gold colour. So just lining that up. Now I use a grid with lines on, if I can, or sorry, a block, an acrylic block with lines on, or I place it on a glass mat or a mat that has guidelines on. That helps me to keep this edge straight, okay? So you can just check, excuse the inking on there, that's not going to be shown, I'm using the reverse.
I like that, Lou.
I was playing with different colours with it, that was all. That. So rather than wasting it, I'm going to use the reverse that's nice and clean. So just make sure that it's nice and straight and ready to go on there. You'll have a slight border around the edge, the same with the owl ones as well, but you know, there's reasons for that, so that actually helps when you're die cutting. Of course, we had the dies that would cut these elements out if you were stamping onto paper, and we'd sold out, which is fine. It's just you've got the grey board instead. Yeah. We can still work with this and make really nice cards. Grey board's great for
So you're going straight
cards.
onto the grey board?
And straight onto the grey board. No gesso or anything. Just adding some pretty pattern to the grey board. So I'm going on with an embossing ink there, and then I'm going to lift that up, quickly get some powder on there.
Does the embossing ink dry quicker on the grey board?
Yes,
because it drinks it up?
Yeah, it does. It soaks in quite quickly, but as you can see there, we've got all of that beautiful Baroque pattern, or damask pattern, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to quickly set that before I do the next one, because like you say, it does dry very quickly. Yeah. And so I want to catch it before it dries. So just start at one end. You don't, just be careful, obviously, with any paper, putting your heat gun too close for too long, you can obviously risk burning it. So I'm not going to put this up to full speed. I'm just going to allow this to heat in its own time. As it gets warmer, it will speed up in a moment. And
of course, using grey board, it's not something you can put the heat gun underneath like you can paper or card.
No, you do need to do it from above. But the effect is beautiful. So I'm actually using I'm going to use like a vintage gold. This is like almost like a platinum colour embossing powder. Yeah. I know there's hundreds of different ones on the market. This one is not like a yellow gold. It is like an old vintage. It's more of a silvery gold. Yeah. I love it. I think it's such a pretty colour. I call it champagne colour. Champagne, yeah. It's not got the pink in it, but you know, it's
some champagne now. You said that. Not that I drink champagne. I don't go home and quaff
it. But
sometimes it's nice to have a bit of a sparkle, isn't it? I mean, I don't bathe in it or anything like that.
Not unless it's the weekend, no.
Yeah.
So, absolutely, this is gorgeous like that. I actually really like it just on the grey board, so you can just pick out the detail, but once you add ink to it you can really see, hopefully you can just see the shine on there. So I'm going to leave that there for a moment because I'm going to use that in a minute. I'm just going to bring in some ink. Okay, quickly get this inked so you can see the gorgeous patterns coming through. Now with the oxides, of course, it's going to stick a little bit to the embossing powder, but what we'll do is we'll buff that up in a little while. So I'm going in 2 patches with a nice duck egg blue, that's actually speckled egg there, and then I'll fill in the rest in a black, which is probably a bit, oh, you're going dark now. I just think a black, which on this shows up grey unless you put lots of layers on, actually really picks out the detail in the embossing nicely, and it blends nicely with that blue as well, so it fades in.
I do love these grey boards because you've got that cut out of the owl that you can take out, and albeit split into 2, you've got those different projects that you can use it for, but then you can use, as Lou is doing, half of it, or if you wanted to, Lou, I guess you could take that back together, and that could be a stencil for your stencil paste.
Absolutely.
How amazing would that
definitely.
be?
Or your mists and spritzers and things, anything.
It's a great, you've captured that owl so well.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful image.
It was quite difficult to find an owl that could be either quite cartoony if you wanted to, like the multicoloured owl that I've got in the front, or one that was really quite true to life and realistic, because I wanted to be able to get both of those styles going on.
Yeah, I think you've done that well.
So I love that. Right, so now I'm going to stamp onto one of the owl shapes. So exactly the same as I just did. I'm going to go in with the clear embossing powder. I've got this side is the carnival letters. Now, I was hoping to be able to show you the reverse inking, so you can actually have 2 halves of the owl or 2 halves of the background in the same ink, but I don't think I'm going to get time for that. So what I'll do is I'll put a video together of that and put that on social media and things. I'll tag Hochanda in it so that you can see it if you are purchasing this. So it's just another way of you being able to use these stamps and use the same for each side. So if you want this one on both sides, you can do that. It's really easy to do. There we go. So just I'm pressing down really hard on that. I'm going to do the same, come over with this gorgeous powder here, sprinkle that all over.
I love the fact you can go straight onto the grey board.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. So there we go. Again, I'm going to heat that nice and quickly, just so that we don't allow that ink to absorb too quickly. I mean, that is an embossing ink, so it is sticky. It should stay sticky for quite a while, but it's, at the end of the day, it's a very absorbent material. I wouldn't usually recommend trying to stamp and emboss onto like watercolour paper, because of course that is so absorbent. Some you can, but I was talking to Lou earlier, and she was talking about gessoing the surface of things like this that are absorbent. Of course, then you can absolutely go in with all your watercolours and your embossing inks and things, and they will hold the dampness for you and enough to play and do what you want to with them.
I've got a question, Lou.
Yeah.
When I get the grey boards home, and I pop the owl out, can I draw around them as well so I can use them again, or would you like people just to use the grey board as it is?
No, use it as a stencil, a template, whatever you want. Absolutely. Definitely do that. So just try and clean that a little bit. So there, I've got that one. I'm just going to do exactly the same. So this is the opposite side to the one I've just done, and I'm just very randomly coming in with the blue in 2 different areas there.
Well, that's nice. What blue's that?
This is the speckled egg again. This is the oxide, and then I've got the black soot, and this is just an ink. Actually, I didn't buff that one up, did I, afterwards to take... Because the oxide does sit on the embossing, whereas the ink usually resists a bit more. So it's a good idea to just buff up afterwards, after you've used oxide, and take the ink back off of that embossing afterwards, which I will do now. Just blend, just by dabbing with very little ink on there. I'm just going blending those edges between the green bluey colour and the black there.
Doesn't that look brilliant?
I'm just going to take a towel and just go over the embossing, just to take off any ink that's sitting on there. That won't take it off of the grey board, but it will just brighten up. Look at my towel. I need to throw it in the washing machine. My daughter made this for
Not
me.
with your best white jumper, though.
No, please don't. So they're just taking that ink off and just bringing the shine back to the embossing. So what I've got there at the moment, if I just take these out of the way, I knew tonight was going to get messy. I've got some matting and layering ready for a card. I've not glued it down because I still need to work on this black piece, but I have the edge for this side, and then I have the edge for that side.
Oh, yes.
Now, that looks gorgeous just on the black, as it is anyway. I love that look. It's quite good. It almost looks like the good and the bad side of something, if you like to...
night and day.
Yeah,
Good
things
and
like that.
bad. Oh, I like that idea.
It's nice, isn't it? But what I'm going to do, I'm going to just put away this embossing powder before I throw it everywhere, because I am so
Well, I wish I
clumsy.
could. You see, normally I would be your assistant.
No, I know you
But
would.
we can't do that now.
No.
We have this screen in between.
Yeah, sorry.
But
I nearly walked into that.
Yeah,
earlier.
I was going to say, I'm constantly walking into it. Or when I'm like talking with my hands, I go like that.
Yeah. So we still have 2 more parts of this stamp to use, so you can really see the detail. I don't think I've used one of these today at all yet. I've not had a chance yet, because there's so much to this collection that I want to show you. It's impossible in even 3 hours to show you everything and how everything works together. But like I say, look out for videos. I will be putting them up as much as possible. So I've got these 2. What I've done is I've taken my pokey tool, whoops, and I have just drawn a line down the centre of the owl. Okay, just down there. So that's given me a guide, and you probably won't see that on there, but I have got a score line that I can see now for where that owl sits. So I can now stamp the other side directly onto the paper, the other side of the owl, and I know that will sit in the right place. So I don't actually, for this, I don't need such a large stamping block. I can use a slightly smaller one so you can see a bit clearer. I'm going to use an anti-static bag as well, just to make sure I get the best possible detail, because this is going to be a nice bright gold going on to a black, so we want it to be really nice and clear. And this is probably my favourite of all the backgrounds.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, can't wait for this.
Love
then.
this one. Okay, so I've got a bit of powder on there, take that off. Again, embossing ink, obviously going on to black. It's not the most exciting television in the world to see clear ink going onto black paper, so I'll put the gold powder on there as quickly as possible.
It's nice to see how you do it, though, because if anyone's new to stamping and they've not tried embossing, you know, to watch you, rather than rub that on, you were tapping it on. So it's always a good demonstration. It's always somebody that's
Just
not done it
making
before.
sure I can see my owl. I think my owl sits, actually. I'm going to take, where is it? My other side. Okay, I can flip this over actually and use this one. Just make sure I'm lining that up where it should be. Yeah, that is correct. So put this just there and just press that. I've got a bit of powder. Actually, that powder might be under the paper, between the paper and the glass mat. I can hear it crunching.
Yeah.
I don't think it's under the stamp because I did tap that all off. Okay. Let's pop some gold. I've got a brighter gold. So this isn't an antique gold. I wanted this to stand out against the black even brighter. So you've got your vintage on the grey board, and then you've got your really bright gold. So tap that back into...
I think if you got some fabric ink, these stamps would look gorgeous on it. Imagine it being the centrepiece to a cushion, or building up a pattern, for example, on fabric. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. When I started designing these, I just thought of doing a half an owl and then having the rest turning into flowers or cogs or something, or swirls coming out.
Maybe one for the future, Lou.
You never know.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, you can really mix and match, and by having both halves and both backgrounds, you can decide which of the 4 or what combination of the 4 you want to use.
Oh, I love that idea. Well, I think you need to work on that.
Yeah,
You
I'll
come
keep
up with a
working
cool
on it.
thing stamp. You really would.
Yeah, it's fun. It is fun to design them. Certainly, the last collection that I've just finished designing, or sort of in the middle of designing, actually, almost finished. I've hand drawn 100 flowers. Honestly, there's so many flowers, but it's so worth it when you finally see the finished project and you think, I drew that. It's really lovely.
It must be so satisfying when it comes through the post on the very first day, and it's like you open it up to see your designs come to fruition.
So just so you can start to see that coming together. So you've got the 2 there, the owl in the middle. That actually looks really quite night time, isn't it? With it's quite dark.
I love that. Do you know, it's intriguing, isn't it? You just want to look at it and have a think for a while.
I'm
Very
just going
nice.
to do the other side. Like I say, I did promise I'd do all 4.
How am I doing for time? Time-wise, we've got 4 minutes left on the show.
Okay.
You guys, it could be an idea to make your mind up. Check out your baskets. Please make sure you get what you want. If you leave anything in your baskets for 10 minutes or more, it comes out, someone else will have it. We don't want that to happen, and we've already had sellouts. So here's a chance for you to check out your baskets. You can enjoy this show again when you get your stamps home, and you can craft along with Lou when you get them home. 178518 is your item number, and that gets you your grey board and your owl, and that's just fallen down. Can I lift it up without knocking everything down? Yes, I can.
Thank you. There we go.
Normally, everything just goes flying. I remember I did a show once with Alex, just while you're stamping that up. And we were in front of a pack shot like this. I've captured it because it was, I don't know how it happened. And we just stood there, and the cards actually flew up in the air.
How?
And neither of us touched them.
Oh.
I've played it back again and again and again and again and again and again and again, and I cannot see any of us touch it or knock it. I'll find it and put it on my Facebook. It's just the most bizarre.
That's scary.
And the cards didn't just fall forward, Lou. They jumped up and fell forward.
That is odd, isn't it?
It was in the other studio. It was very strange. I'll find it and I'll put it on my Facebook. You can have a look.
Are there a few extras in that studio, do you think?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I'd love to see a ghost, you know.
It was fascinating to see. I'll find it and pop it on.
It's probably just something like the air conditioning went a bit crazy for a minute or something.
Might
Something
be.
really explainable, but actually...
They jumped up.
Yeah,
they didn't go
is
forward,
odd.
they went up.
Isn't that odd?
Yeah,
There
it was
we
like a
go.
little...
Right, I will just lay this together because I know we're running short of time. I've got a red background there, deep red background,
Ooh,
so this is really
nice.
getting quite masculine, deep colours, perfect for maybe an older gentleman. The grey board, of course, can sit there. We've got that one that comes around the outside.
Really love the
sits-
colours you've used in this, Lou.
Thank you.
Very
It's just-
effective.
This one I stamped a little bit low because I wasn't lining things up properly because I was
That's all-
rushing.
that's all right.
And then I would put the words celebrate across in the white. So the white is bringing out the white of the background
Oh, I see.
behind there, but you've got all of those textures. Obviously, you'd tape all of that down. You'd line everything up properly rather than rushing.
Wow.
And there's all the 4 textures. And it's entirely up to you what colours and things you do. But that's kind of how the reflections work when you use all of the images together.
Yeah, I'm looking at that owl as well, and like you say, Lou, you can use it as a template if you wanted to. So how about pages for you, like inside your journal, and then that owl can be 2 pages that come forward. You can write on the back.
Definitely.
That would be
lovely.
really good. Absolutely. And with the alphabet stamps that we've got on the show as well, they would be perfect for your journaling. Lou, I love your demonstration. It's so inspiring. And then seeing your collections as well. You must be very proud because they are incredible. And we've been really, really busy throughout today. We've had a sellout, but what we've got for you now is a chance to get hold of that marvellous stamp that Lou has just been using. It's so versatile. It's fabulous, the designs in there, and that shape of the owl is beautiful. And then you've got the grey board as well. You've got 3 of those, by the way, 3 of the grey board, so you'll have the 3 owls and the 3 outsides to work with. It's a marvellous collection. It's an incredible price. It really is. It's a giftable price, isn't it? At £15.98. 178518 is your item number. And you can see we've got some beautiful samples around here that we've used the background stamp to. I mean, if anyone's, you know, coming late to the show and they're thinking, shall I not go for this particular deal, what would you say to them?
If you've ever wanted to try mixed media, this will work. This will be a nice introduction without having to sacrifice your nice clean style if you don't want to. You can do very feminine, very delicate, very elegant with these as well. Or you can get really grungy and throw all the colours at it. It's entirely up to you. The idea is it's a basis for you to add your own style into.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And that means you're working with Lou, doesn't it? Because you're using Lou's stamps and you're putting your own ideas to it. How fabulous. Do take a look at the other items we've had on the show. If you have just joined us and not had a chance to, you will be able to buy after the show, but please get what you want. Don't let anyone else get what you want, because we've got some great ideas for Christmas presents. Lou, when are we going to see you next?
I think I'm done for Christmas now.
Ooh.
I think, but you never know.
We'll have a lovely Christmas.
And you, thank
and we'll
you very
see you on
much.
the other
And
side. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the break. Remember, check out your baskets. Right, let's carry on crafting into the night. We've got the one-day special coming up next, a chance to see that one more time. Leslie Wharton and Chocolate Baroque, and then Pink Frog Crafts for your delight.
Hello, I'm Sue Trangmar and I started Daisy Chain Designs 20 years ago. Back in the day there were very few quilt patterns in the marketplace, and so I started